What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of A Spark Ignited with Danielle Nicole. I am your host, Danielle Nicole, and I'm so excited for you guys to be here. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. I took to my Instagram and I asked you guys to ask me some questions that you wanted me to answer, whether juicy questions, life questions, whatever, learning questions, whatever. I'm game, right? This is going to be a two-part episode because there's so many questions and Lord knows I'm not going to answer them all in this one podcast. We're going to start with the first 10 first. So buckle up, get ready to have some fun because I got some really fun questions to answer. So let's get this thing started. Okay, so all the questions were on my phone. I'm obviously using my phone to record, so I wrote them down in my book. Shameless plug. The 30-Day Mindset Transformation Affirmations, Volume 3. Get it if you don't have it. Okay, so we're going to start with the very first question. What is the one fear you conquered that unlocked a new level of life for you? The fear that I've conquered that unlocked a new level of life is doing this very podcast right here. I had a fear for so long that I was going to be judged harshly and that people weren't gonna like me and I wasn't gonna know what I was doing. Lord, I put my foot in my mouth before I even began. I've been wanting a podcast for about 5 years now or so, and I finally pulled the plug this year. It wasn't a big fear of mine by any means, but it was a fear that held me hostage for a while, so it was a fear, legitimate. But I'm so happy to be doing this podcast because I feel like a side of me, I'll be able to let loose and have fun, and because I'm so serious in every atmosphere that I'm in professionally that it's so nice to just let my hair down. So this is a really big fear of mine once, but just to do this podcast, it is unlocking a new dimension of Danielle Nicole and just unlocking a new dimension of me. And I finally feel free, and I finally feel like I don't really give a crap what anybody thinks or if I'm going to be judged harshly. I'm really excited to just be doing this because I want to do it. Okay, question number 2 is, if I could have a dinner with any historical figure, which 3 would I choose? Okay, historical figure. Definitely Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Michael Jackson, and Abraham Lincoln. I chose Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. because he's someone that I look up to and have looked up to forever. I feel like I'm a part of his family. I feel like I look like the man, okay? You can't tell me that I'm not a part of that bloodline. But just because he was so courageous and brave and I honor the man so much just for going out on a limb just to make things equal for us and fight for our rights and, to do it at the expense of his life. I want to sit and talk to him. Michael Jackson is someone that I love. I have loved him since I was a kid. He actually passed away when I was pregnant with my daughter, and I was really trying to give birth to her on his birthday. She actually came a day later. But Michael Jackson is someone that I just love because it's fun, and he always had fun music and, music that made you think about things. And, he was just a great entertainer overall. And then Abraham Lincoln, because he stood for us. He stood for my people. He stood for African Americans. He stood for our rights. He was the first president to do so, and to do so back in a time where it was frowned upon. Yeah, I want to pick his brain. So Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., and Michael Jackson. Okay, moving right along here. Question number 3 is a little spicy. What's the sexiest compliment you've ever received? I'm going to say there was this guy that really liked me at one point, and he had picked up on that I was really shy. And I am a little shy. Especially if you don't really know me like that. It's crazy to think about because I am very I'm extroverted, but I have introverted ways, a lot of them. But I'm shy when someone likes me, and things like that. Kind of go into a little shell. And he was like, "You are too fine to be this shy. We can't have a Lamborghini parked in a garage. You got to show that MFR off." And when I thought about that, and when I was like, I'm a whole Lamborghini out here in these streets, you know, it was just one of those things that made me think, Danielle, like, if all these people are saying this to you and you get all these compliments and they're compliments like that, like, walk in that. And it was one of those things that just made me strut myself a little bit more. Like, I just had a bit more of a pep in my step that day. And I just, you know, I kind of owned that. I was like, you know what? You do got it going on, girl. You got a lot of things going for you. Like, own it, you know? And to me, that was the sexiest compliment, because it was one of those things where, you know, you may not feel so good about yourself, but to have someone give you such a high compliment, you know, it really did numbers for me. So still working on that. I'm still shy. I'm not all the way done, you know, out of my shell or whatever, but that's something that I always think about whenever I feel like I need to tap into like my spicy side. So I'm going to piggyback on that compliment, because over the years I have heard some things. Like, I've heard some things where I'm like, oh my God, please don't ever say that to another woman again in your life, you know? But then, you know, I remember dating my husband, and because we were friends at the time for a long time, we were friends for a while. We became best friends before we became anything. And I remember when I started liking him, this is not necessarily a compliment, but it was what he said that made me just be like, okay. He said, like, Danielle, who are you trying to convince? And it was one of those things where he knew I liked him. I knew he liked me, but I was still over here fighting it. I don't know why I was fighting it. I was just like, Danielle, give into it. Like, it's okay. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, if this don't work out, I get to lose like a really good friend of mine. Like, we have become really good friends. This man knew everything. He saw me without a wig, without my eyebrows. Like, he saw all of it and thought I was just the most beautiful woman on the planet, you know? And me as a woman, I don't let guys see, you know, those sides of me without eyebrows and a wig and, you know, all these different things. Like, look, that's a vulnerability, okay? But he always just looked at me the same way, and he still does to this day. But it's like one of those things where I was like, damn, that was sexy. Who are you trying to convince? Well, I guess I ain't trying to convince nobody, because it's not working. It was just one of the sexiest things he's ever said to me. It's not a compliment, but it was one of those moments that I'll always just have in the back of my head. Like, boy, you knew what you were doing right there. Okay, these questions got me a little flustered, but we're going to move right along here. Question number 4. What's the one thing you'll tell your younger self about embracing life? I would tell my younger self to slow the hell down, okay? I don't know what it was about our generation back in the day when we graduated high school in 2002, and we felt like we needed to be in love and we had to have our future spouse right then and there. I don't know what that was about, because it's crazy to think about now, but like, love was everything to me. I wanted to be in love. I wanted to have someone be in love with me, and I wanted to marry him by I was 20 years old, you know, and I would just tell my younger self to slow down. Love will always be there. What you need to do is love yourself first. Get to know who it is that you are. Get to know every part of who you are, your likes, your dislikes. Travel the world alone, you know. Just do life alone for a while, not because you want to cut people out, but because you want to just stand in your own strength. You want to know that you can take care of yourself with or without someone. You don't have to beg for anyone to love you. You are lovable on your own. Just who you are as a person, you're lovable, you're valued. I want to hug my younger self so much. I put her through so much. And she only just wanted to be loved and liked and validated. And it didn't even come from a negative standpoint. Lord knows I just wanted love so desperately, you know. But I would just say, fall in love with God. And when you fall in love with God, he helps you fall in love with who you are. So to my younger self, love you. Fall in love with God, because he helps you fall in love with who you are. Love your quirks. Love your imperfections. Love what it is that you love and the things that make you happy. Validate yourself. Go on adventures by yourself. Get to know who you are alone, okay? Like, you don't need anyone to validate you. You need to validate you first. And once you love yourself first, then allow someone else to love you. That's what I would tell my younger self. I put her through so much, and I hope she forgives me because I know I put her through so much. But there was so much work that I needed to do within myself. And there's so many things that I had to unlearn. But because I love her so much, I hope she knows that I tried my best and I only wanted the best for us. I may not have gone about it in the best way, but I did do the very best that I could. Okay, question number 5. You won $100 million in the lottery. What are you doing next? Okay. What am I doing next? I won $100 million in the lottery. I am paying my tithes because God saw fit for me to win so much money. So first and foremost, paying our tithes. And not just to one church, but churches I feel have impacted my life throughout my life. That's how I will pay my tithes. Next, pay whatever debt that I may have. And yes, I'm going to go get my dream car. Whatever that is. I might not even know what my dream car is right now, but going to go get my dream car. Going to get my beach house that I so desperately want for me and my family. Going to Bora Bora with my husband. Taking my family on an exotic trip. Of course, giving my family money, my mom, dad, sister, people that I love, of course, people that are close to me, of course, breaking them off some change, of course, so they can live their best lives. But living my best life because, listen, I know money doesn't buy happiness, but it sure does solve a whole lot of damn problems, okay? So $100 million richer is on and popping. Okay, man, $100 million richer sounds really nice right now. Question number 6. What's the most outrageous adventure you ever embarked on? I would say when I first started solo traveling, that was something that I never thought I would do, but it has been the most liberating experience of my life. And I would advise anyone to do it. If you never went anywhere by yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go see the world or the country by yourself. Like, at least some parts of the country. Like, of course you want people with you that you love and you have a good time with, but I am big on solo time. So maybe I may be a little bit different in this area. I love my me time, married and all. Like, I am still a person, even though I'm a married woman, I am an individual, and my individual self craves time alone. And I always have my entire life. So the fact that I get to go, just somewhere for a few days, because being married and being a mom, of course, you can't go, too long anywhere. And I don't want to. I want to be with my family. But just to get away. And most of the time when I get away by myself, it's to the beach. And when I'm at the beach, I need to be in pure serenity because it's my favorite place on earth to go. But when I'm at the beach, I get to be one with myself. I'm praying, I'm meditating, I'm reading, I'm listening to music, I'm in silence, I'm listening to nature. I'm doing all the things that makes me happy, all the things that makes my soul happy. And that has been the best adventure I've embarked on so far in my life, is to solo travel. I highly recommend it. Okay. Question number 7. If your life was a movie, what genre would it be in? Romance? I say that and I laugh about it because I am the most hopeless romantic that I know. And I've changed the term hopeless to hopeful. I am a hopeful romantic because I am not hopeless, okay? I am hopeful in love. But I love love. I love to be in love. I love to give love. I love love, okay? And I love watching movies where the people fall in love. It has to be a very realistic storyline, of course. I don't like just mumbo jumbo and they fall in love and it don't make sense. It's okay if they don't fall in love and they fall out of love and it was part of their love story, because that's realistic too. But the movie genre that my life would play is definitely romance, because I think if I was to name or number how many times I've been in love, I would say 2 times. I'm not even going to say who, because it don't matter. So 2 times I've been in love in my life. But I've definitely, had feelings of love with other people that I may have dated, but like to be in love, twice. Y'all got me thinking about love and all of that. Like, yeah, love is my thing. Okay, so let's go to the next question. What fantasy would you like to bring to life? Okay, this may be corny to some, but it don't matter. This is my fantasy, right? I've never been kissed in the rain. I want to be kissed in the rain. I want the whole moment. I want to be dipped. I want to be soaking wet with the love of my life. And I want him to kiss me passionately in the rain, okay? That is a fantasy of mine that I would like to have come true in my lifetime. Why? I just think it's just so romantic. It's one of those things where you don't care about the elements around you. You don't care who's watching or who's around. And you don't care that you're soaking wet. All you care about is being wrapped up in that person and giving them the best kiss ever. And to me, that sounds like the most amazing thing ever. And just, to be in each other's embrace and embrace each other on that level, like, that sounds so freaking amazing to me. So yes, I want to be kissed in the rain. Hint, hint, husband. That is a fantasy of mine that I would like to see come true. Cruising right along here, we are on number 9. Turn the book the right way. Sexy playlist to get the mood started. So my playlist is very long, so I'm going to give you 5 of my go-to songs. So one of the songs is Flowetry, Say Yes. I mean, do I even have to explain? That song is so sexy and so hot, and it will get anybody in the mood. Even if you weren't in the mood, you're going to get in the mood after you hear that song. That's one of my go-tos. I have Burn Slow by Ro James. Burn Slow, the vibe of that song is just magnetic. I love the video too. If you haven't seen it, it is just one of those songs that just makes you feel all the feels. I love Cold Sweat by Tinashe. Cold Sweat has this beat to it where it's just sensual and sexy and it's slow, and it's one of those that gets everything going, if you know what I mean. We have Unravel Me by Sabrina Claudio. Unravel Me, I mean, enough said. Like, once you hear the song, you're gonna unravel the person that you're with, okay? It's one of those really good, sexy, grown people songs that you want to play whenever you're ready to get the mood started. And then last but not least is Do It Well by Division. Do It Well. It's one of those songs where he's talking about something completely different, but it makes you feel like he's speaking to you. So, Do It Well. Burn Slow, Unravel Me, Say Yes, and definitely Cold Sweat by Tinashe. Trust me. Okay, last but not least, because this is going to be a 2-part video, and I wanted to stop at question number 10. And question number 10 was, what made you want to start a podcast? I spoke on this before, but what made me want to start a podcast is for this very reason right here. We touched on so many different things. We talked about who I would like to eat lunch with, my historical figures, to sexy playlists, to, what I would tell my younger self. All so many different things. This is exactly what my podcast represents, life. And just fun-filled questions and thought-provoking questions and things that we can learn together. This is why I wanted to start my podcast, because I wanted to create a space not only for myself to just be able to come to a place where I feel free and liberated and I'm able to let loose, but whoever comes to this podcast is able to do the very same thing. So that's what inspired me. And also to give myself a voice to where I feel like, my ideas are being heard and the things that I have to say are important and, things like that. I'm so excited to have this podcast. I'm so excited to the people who tune in every week to listen to this podcast. You guys keep me inspired and you keep me going. So we're going to stop there. That was question number 10 for the day. I hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast so far. Make sure that you guys tune in every Tuesday and every Wednesday on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe, and share to your friends and family. That's going to help my channel grow, and it's going to help me reach more people so that I can help more people and more people can have fun with us. So thank you so much for tuning in again. I appreciate you guys so much, and until next week, see you soon.